Vinod Kothari ji. He's a chartered accountant since 2008, specialized in indirect taxation. He's a consultant. He's a speaker. He's a passionate trainer. And sir, we are very happy. We are indeed blessed to have you. And sir has conducted a lot of workshop on GST to trainees and to CA students. And he has trained more than 15,000 students. So at D.A.V, at the school level, I think our children are really blessed to get this training. And he has been the guest faculty at National Academy of Customs, Excise and Narcotics. And he's an Auditor General of Office Regional Training Institute. And I should say, he's selected as a faculty for GST training also. So, sir, such a renowned person. I think our children, I should say our children are blessed to have you at this young age, maybe the exposure that they're just going to get at the 11th and 12th level. We have invited only our commerce students, but I just don't know who is maintaining the Vidya Saadhan shop. Maybe some students of science, they are a part of our project. But today the invitation has gone to commerce students across the group schools. I think we have 500. One commerce section in various branches. Some branches have 2 commerce sections. So we have nearly 500 odd students, 11th and 12th commerce. And your expertise in the field and your guidance, I think that will mean a lot to them. So the stage is all yours. We have all our, even the senior office people joining us, our teachers with you, and all our commerce students with you. So please take over, sir. It's all, the platform is yours now. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Namaste to all the teachers, all the students. A very warm good morning. Very happy to see you all in this Sunday morning. Normally Sundays for you is a very happy day. In my school times, when Sunday will come, we will be waiting. Even today, I wait for Sunday. But time have been changed. Sundays also, we get some appointment because that is the free time when we can explore ourselves. So this training, what I take, gives me a lot of improvement in myself. So I learn a lot from this training. Till I completed a CA in 2008, I have never took any training. I never went on stage. First time when I went on stage, I was given the opportunity to take for 100 CA students to take Tally. Tally, I have been learning, I have been using Tally for almost 10 years at that time. So I was strong in subject, but never stage. So stage fear was there. First day I was trembling in fear, but after that, no look back. So whenever you get an opportunity, grab that opportunity to learn or use. Never be afraid. First time you may be fearful, but once you do it, you will know what is the result. And today here you can see me that what I am today here, taking a lot of training sessions, more than 15,000 CA students, professionals, I have taken the training. Now, before starting the session, I would like to know from you, you can type in the chat box, why you have joined here. See, one thing I have understood in life, unless and until you don't know what is the end result of what you do, you will never achieve that. You can see from many persons' life experience that what they want, they go for it and they get it, and those are successful people. So I want every one of you to just type in the chat box, what do you are going to get from this session, end of this session, what you are going to understand. Because if this clarity is there, then till the end of the session, your mind will be diverted towards that clarity. To participate, what we have learned, I want very specific Tally class, okay? How to use Tally. Only 4 or 5, learn something new. See, always you should be very specific, then only you can achieve anything. I was very specific to complete CA, I have achieved it. Many of them have left in between to make books of accounts entry. Till now, I have not got the reason. So many hundred students are there. At least one should tell, learn skill outside school. These and all are there. But main thing is no one is telling. Information on tally accounts, become CA. No. Maybe some guidelines I'll give, become CA. But what is the purpose of you joining? Why they have called me? Why they have called you? You are part of what? What is Vidya Sagar? Madam, what is Vidya Sagar, madam?
Teachers, no? If any one of the teachers could take up this question.
Yes.
Please.
Now I'm getting some. What is Vidya Sagar? Can someone explain me?
Yeah. Teachers, any one of the teachers, no? Please take this question.
So some of you now have given, yes, the main purpose is the stationery project. See, our end result is what? That if you understand, everything is the purpose of learning. Why you are doing schooling to complete +2. After that, to go to college. After that, post-graduation. After that, you stop deciding where you want to go. Those who decide, they are successful. Those who don't decide, they are still confused and they are struggling, right? So learning is one part, but end result is what you should know. Why we have joined here together is for the stationery project. Stationery project is the purpose of us joining here. Your school has taken a very good initiative to start this stationery product. But the problem with the stationery project is that maintenance of books of accounts has become little tough. You have been maintaining the stocks, you have been maintaining the accounts in Excel. To give a practical oversight of how to maintain the stationery project, we are going to learn two things. One is the practical aspect of accounting. Two is the practical aspect of using these accounting skill to convert this into technology and preparing your books of account. Is everyone clear? Type 1 if you have understood, type 0 if you have not understood. Fast. I want fast result. I'm giving you shortcut keys. In life, there are no shortcut keys. But at least in technology, we have shortcut keys. Right? Is everyone on the same page? Why we are together? Yes, very good. Fine. Thank you very much. So now we have understood that why we have joined here. Purpose is stationery project, understanding the account. See, whatever training I'm going to take here is purely practical. I want to be very, very clear. And you should also be very, very clear. The reason is that what happens is when I take your training and when you read the theory books, sir said this, but in theory it is like this. Why it is that? Don't try to compare. Theory is, yes, theory is theory, it is useful. But when it comes to practical, some difference may be there. Strictly, it may not be same, but it may be similar. So don't get yourself confused that sir has said this, and theory it is like this. So some places, if you feel that sir, this is there in the question answer session, you can ask me why it is like this, why you're telling. At that time, I will answer it. At the end of the day, for your exam purpose, what is theory is going to help. Don't write exam what I am going to take here. Otherwise, you will see that sir has said that's why I have done, and then this has become the result. Okay, clear? Fine. Is anyone having any doubt? Someone has raised hands, I think. So now we'll start with this. So now we have understood this stationery project. What is the purpose of joining? See, in this stationery project, what do we do? Starting step 1, can anyone type and tell me what is the first step of this project? To understand the project better and make it into practical. What is the first step? What do we do? As per my understanding, I'll tell you, yes, very good. One is someone has said procurement of goods. Before procurement of what do we do? Before procurement of goods, identifying the customer's need. Okay. See, I'm not going on the planning marketing aspect. What I'm talking is purely related to accounts. Step by step to come. Yes, very good. I have got the answer. Every accounts question here starts. Amount invested in business by Mr. Ram, 10,000 rupees. How many times you have listened? I've seen thousands of times. So first thing is that whenever you start a business, what is the important thing is capital. So I'm maintaining an Excel. Whatever words we are typing, just I'm maintaining it so that I'll show you that Excel and then we will continue with our learning. So now capital has come, right? To start a business, to start a project, you need a place. For that place, you need to pay rental advance. You need to buy furniture. You need to buy stock. For buying that stock, for buying that rental advance, you need some amount. How do you get that amount? Get the amount by two methods. One is capital, investing capital. What is the another method? Can someone tell me? Sir, I have 1 lakh capital. Yes, very good. Loan. So two methods of investing is there. One is capital, or second, the loan which we receive, right? Credit, we come to the next part. Right. Now we have got the capital. What is the next thing we do with that capital? See, again, I am telling whatever we are restricting is restricted only to accounts. Don't go for marketing, don't go for research, don't go for analysis. Yes. So we have the amount we designed to plan the invest the amount. Invest the amount is for our stationary project. So what are the investments? What are the investment required for stationary project? What are the investment? What are things we need to buy? What are the things we need to buy? Before goods, okay, machinery, right? What is the machinery? For you, no manufacturing, so no machinery. Yes, place. Very good. So we are going to buy a place for you. Place is also not required because school is providing you place. So rental is not there. What about furniture? Will you buy furniture, fixed assets? So fixed asset may be required. You may need a furniture. You may need a computer. So fixed asset I am going to maintain in my sheet. So fixed assets. Now you have purchased fixed asset. You have started. You are going to start the business. Before start of the business, after fixed asset, what you are going to buy? What are you going to buy? Now come to the main part, which you said earlier. Yes, goods. So we are going to procure the goods. From where? From some vendors. So now why procurement of goods? There are two methods. What are the two methods? Credit and cash, right? What do you mean by credit? What do you mean by cash? Cash means immediate payment. It is cash. Credit means what? You don't make the payment now. You buy the goods and then you are going to make the payment on a later date. So now I am going to make purchase. I'll just show you the list. Cash purchase. Credit purchase. So now purchase it. For cash purchase, one is purchase. Who is the another person? That is the party who is supplying the goods. What do we call that person in accounts? The person to whom, yes, very good, he is called as a creditor or sundry creditor or trade creditor. See, whatever you have learned theory till now, I am implementing in practical. So I am creating a link. I'm not going to take you theory. Theory you have already learned. We have good teachers. Teachers have explained you what is accounts, what is balance sheet. Now just you need to create a link. If you create a link, things will be very easy. I'm not giving the answer. You are giving the answer. I'm only asking the question, right? So that means how good your teachers has taught you. I still remember my accounts teacher, the way she has taught me this BRS. She used to teach me in a very interesting manner. And till now, I remember that. So with balancing the hand, she used to teach. I think Suresh sir is there. He was there in my school. He should know Pratibha madam. She is a principal now. She is a madam who has taught me accounts. So these things are very important. And one more important thing regarding accounts is that you have to be strong in your fundamentals. Until and unless you are not strong in your fundamentals, you will never be successful. Many people, what they do, they skip the fundamentals and then try to learn the next level. So what happens? We get struggle. Can anyone tell me what is the fundamental of accounting? Fundamental of accounting. What is the very, very important fundamental of accounting? If I understand this fundamental, then I will tell you out of my past 20 years in accounting, accounts has never gone beyond that fundamental. Yes, very good. Golden rules of accounting. I have seen lakhs of transaction of thousands of company. Nowhere I have seen a transaction outside these three golden rule. If you want to be a specialist in accounts, then you should always be very, very strong in the golden rules. Is everyone strong in golden rules? This is going to work in your life. Life is always full of debit and credit. incoming and outgoing, not only money, lot of things. The golden rules of account: debit the receiver, credit the giver, debit what comes in, credit what goes out, debit all expenses, credit all profits and gains. So these are the three fundamental golden rules of accounting which you need to know if you want to understand accounts. Even if you are a science student, it doesn't make any difference. Just understand these three things. I will tell you, accounts will be very, very, very easy. Any kind of sum, any kind of problem, these golden rules will solve. Right now, we're coming back to our stationery project. So stationery project, we were with the creditors, right? Now, before that, we missed one thing. Capital investment, how is it going to come? Capital investment, how is it going to come? How will you get this capital investment? Okay, school, okay. Yes, now we come as cash, or in real life, it may be cash or what? Bank. Yes, bank means what? They will give you in by way of check or transfer. For bank, what should I do? For bank, what should I do? For bank, what should I do? If I am getting a check in bank, what should I do? First, I should open a bank account. So bank account is very, very important for us. One is cash and another one is bank. Fine. Till now, any doubt? Is anyone having any doubt? You can raise your hand. 1 minute time we will take. Fine. Very good. So till now, good, going on. So now I have started a business, everything done. My purchases has been made. After that, what do I do? What do I do? After purchase, I purchase the goods from credit, cash, sell. Okay, sell we come to next. Before that, marketing. Okay, these and all are expenses. One more expenses I want to tell. For purchase related something. Purchase related something I'm talking. Yes. So whenever you make a purchase, you have certain expenses. Expenses related to purchase is called as what? Expenses related to purchase is called as what? There are two types of expenses. One is per expense. Yes, very good. Direct expense and indirect expense. So any expense relating to manufacturing or trading activity or the purchase is called as direct expenses. This becomes your cost of the product. This becomes your cost of the product. Understand this concept, very, very important. See, I am buying goods for 1,000 rupees. I am buying goods for 1,000 rupees. And for bringing the goods from the place of the purchase, that is from my creditor to my place, say I incur 200 rupees as an air freight courier. What is my cost of product? 1,000 rupees or 1,200? It is 1,200 rupees, right? But when it comes to accounts, we think only purchase. Why direct expense? Why indirect expense? Direct expense has an impact on your costing. So if you buy a goods for 1,000 rupees, a stationery project, some pen you are buying for 1,000 rupees, and you are selling for 1,200. When I check your accounts, I tell that you have spent 300 on your transportation. What is the profit or loss of that pen? Why loss of 100 rupees? Because 300 is part of that pen. Okay, same example. 1,000 rupees pen I have sold for 1,200. On advertisement, I have spent 500 rupees. On advertisement, I have spent 500 rupees. Now, no. Advertisement is indirect expense. You have not spent the advertisement only for your pen. It is for your whole company. So other products also will get covered. So whatever is directly related to the cost of pen, that only is the direct expense. Am I clear? Yes. Is it clear for everyone? Very, very important concept. See, important concept. If you understand, it becomes very easy. In real life also, you can understand when you are going to start a business, you should know what is the difference between gross profit and net profit, what is direct expense, what is indirect expense. I see many companies today, they don't understand this concept and then they get in loss. Fine, very good. So now I'm going to make a note, direct expenses. I'm going to make a note. Now, once direct expenses is done, we have taken a place, furniture is purchased, asset is purchased, shop is going to open today. Or after that, what is going to happen? What is going to happen next? Sales. Yes, very good. So we are going to make sales. So sales, what are the different type of sales? What are different type of sales? Again, cash sales, credit sales. Cash sales. Now, if I receive in bank directly, GPay, UPI, is it cash sales or credit sales? Yes, very good. So concept-wise, you are clear that if I receive by GPay, if I receive by UPI, whether I receive in cash directly, whether I receive in bank directly, it is a, what they say, it is a cash sales only. Sometimes I tell my client, sir, issue a check and then do the transaction. My client will call after 3 hours. Slowly, he'll tell, sir, if I do a NEFT, is it okay? So I said, NEFT, check and all is everything same, right? So end result is that the money should go from one bank to another bank. So that is the concept. Understood? Yes. So sales. So when we have sales, we make a credit sales. The person to whom we are selling, they are called as what? They have to give us money. They are called as what? Debtor. So very good. So sundry debtor or trade debtor. Sundry debtor or trade debtor. Okay, when I have taken a place, now for you, place is not there, so I have not taken, but just a real case scenario. Suppose you are taking a shop on rent. You are taking a shop on rent. What do you pay? What do you pay when you take a shop on rent? What should you pay? Before rent, you have to pay something. Before rent, you have to pay something. What will you pay? Advance. That is called as what? Rental advance. What is that rental advance? What is that rental advance terminology in accounts? Yes, deposit. So there is a difference between an expense and a deposit. Expense means it is a cost. Once you pay it, it is gone. Deposit means you will get back in a future date. Fine. So now we have done the sales. We have done this one. We have started the sales, everything. Then what do you do? Then what do you the next activity which you do? What are the next? Advance paid is not a prepaid expenses. Prepaid expenses is a different concept. Advance paid is a different concept. Rental deposit we call or rental advance. Prepaid means what? Next year expenses you are paying now is prepaid. Say for example, in the month of March, my rental is 10,000 rupees. I pay 30,000 rupees. 10,000 for the month of March. April, 10,000. May, 10,000. Then 20,000 is prepaid, right? Yes, customer attraction, promotion, accrued income, advance received, marketing. What do? You make some expenses. For what? Expenses, two categories. One is marketing, promotion, advertisement is one category. Yes. Second category is what? Your running expenses, your administrative expenses. So what are the running expenses, administrative expenses? So a lot of people have said about marketing, promotion. So business promotion expenses. Yes, very good. Salary, electricity. Rental advance comes under deposit. Yes, rental advance comes under deposit. Though we tell it is a rental advance, it is an advance. The person is taking as a security. See, when you go and buy a shop on rent, what they'll say, you pay 10-month advance. 10,000 is the rent. 10-month advance. Now, 10-month advance is what? When you don't pay the rent, then only he will treat that advance as a rent. Otherwise, what you do monthly, you make a payment. So this is a deposit kind of thing. You tell advance. That's what real life and books. This little terminology difference will be there. Some of them call rental advance, some of them call rental deposit. Concept is very important. What is concept? When I pay 30,000 rupees, is he going to use it towards rent? Yes, that is prepaid. But when I have paid 1 lakh rupees, is he going to use towards rent? No, it is a deposit. It is a security deposit. If I don't pay the rent, then only it will be utilized. It is not more than 1 month, 3 months. In certain case, even we pay 3 months advance also. It is a deposit. So you need to understand, if you vacate the premises, will you get that advance refund or it will be adjusted against rent? If it is adjusted against rent, then it is a prepaid expense or expense. You will get the refund at the time of vacating a property. Then it is a, yes, in future deposit. So maybe 5 years, 10 years, 10,000. Outstanding rent is different, deposit is different. Okay. Fine. So now we are under the expenses part. So one is business promotion expenses, then the administrative expenses. Now, what do you mean by business promotion expenses? The expenses which you do to improve your sales. Now, you have started a stationery project, you have opened a shop, or you have opened a place in the school where no one is being, they are unable to identify where the shop is. They are unable to identify where the shop is. Will people come to you? Will people buy the stationery? No. So what you have to do? First, location is important. But nowadays, in technology world, location also not important. But for you, we will take only from the basic. Technology world, we will forget. So you will keep in a prominent place where every student can come and see, oh, what is this stationery project? They will come and then buy. In spite of that, they are not coming. Then what you will do? You will send message in WhatsApp, or you will put in Facebook, you will put in Google, you will spend some advertisement in newspaper. That is promotion. It is for the common business. What is the result of the promotion? The result of the promotion is increase in your sales. So this is promotion. It is indirect expenses. Then what is this administrative expenses? For running the shop, what should I do? I have to pay rent, I have to pay electricity, I have to pay salary, I have to pay staff welfare, tea coffee expenses, food expenses, conveyance expenses. These are all indirect expenses for the running the business. And after that, repairs and maintenance, yes. And after that, what do you get? After all these things, what do you get? Two things you get. One villain, one hero. Yes, profit and loss. So once you complete this process, you get something called as a profit or loss. And next, what happens to that profit or loss? Where it goes? You got the profit and loss. What happens to it? It is added back to the capital. So this is all accounts which we are going to learn. If you have understood this, then within 2 sessions also we can complete it. Understood? Yes, this is the process. So anytime if you are confused with anything, always yeah. If someone is asking any doubt, yes, someone has said that either given to shareholders as dividend or capital. Now, capital, I mean the different types of company: proprietorship company, partnership company, private limited company, public limited company, LLP. It depends upon various factors. Fine. So, any doubt? We'll take some questions. Anywhere you feel that something is missing, you are not understood, you can ask me, because this is very, very fundamental thing. Flow, understand the flow, then only we'll understand everything. And one more thing, see, our mind works in a subconscious way. Without if you want to learn, make it a habit. If by struggling, if you want to learn, make it a habit. I've experienced this. Whenever in exam, or whenever you study for exams, or whenever even in CA students, I tell, Whenever you read any concept, read in the same manner 10 times. You will remember. Say, for example, one question is having 5 points. First, what is the answer? First, there are 5 points you tell to mind. Then, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. 10 times you read, 10 times same order. Don't mix the order. Your mind will get confused. I'll give a classic example. How many of you here know how to ride two-wheelers? Maybe some of you might know, some of you might not know, or most of you might know. First time when you are driving a two-wheeler, how you will drive? Left, right, center, pedal, accelerator, all the things on the earth you see, and then you drive. After 6 months, what happened? Today, what they are going to take in the class, you will be thinking something, and exactly you will reach the school. And from the school, when you take the bike, something you will be thinking, and exactly you will reach your home. Then you will see, oh, I reached home. How many of you know careless kilometers? We are not getting. Please unmute your.
Is the audio on?
Your mic is muted, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all muted, I am also muted. Technology problem. Sometimes when we are in center of system, we feel intel inside, mental outside. Right? Apply, no reply. So that is the technology. Nothing. Our life is going to be only on technology. So the subconscious mind, over a period of time, you will reach. Is Google Map fitted in your mind? No, that is subconscious mind. So read in the same manner. So anywhere, any doubt. What is the difference between customer attraction cost and promotion? Okay, see, both are same. Promotion, customer attraction cost, there are various methods. Nowadays, it is social media marketing, or you put an advertisement. So both are similar kind of activity. Various activities are there. Why you want to do, that is the result. So you want to promote your product. Someone want to promote their brand only. Then only the sale will convert into sales. See, I'll give you a classic example like Nirma. You don't know, maybe because it is in our period product. Nirma, daily we used to get Nirma, washing powder Nirma, right? So daily, whenever do this and we used to open, that advertisement will surely come. So it is what? Washing powder. Nirma came with a product, toothpaste. Nirma, toothpaste. It never gets sold. Why? Because initially when Nirma, everyone mind, subconscious mind was fit with washing powder. So they did not digest to take Nirma toothpaste. No. Colgate means what? Toothpaste. Pepsi means juice. Coca-Cola means juice. Apple means, sir, which one, sir? Apple, iPhone, or normal Apple, right? So nowadays it has become a little confusing. So that is what is brand creation. So one is branding creation, then it leads to customer creation. Fine, very good. Any other doubt? Okay, now we will go to the next. See, in accounts, there are always 3 friends together, 3 sisters, you can tell. One sister name is Bali Devi. Another sister name is Pali Devi. Third sister name is Tali Devi. 3 sisters, remember. What is that? See, once you complete the accounts, what is the end result? Our program end result to prepare accounts for project. What is the end result of accounting? Before that, come in same order. That's what I'm telling. Always come in the order. First order, second order, third order. Yes, very good. Tali Devi has come, trial balance. Then you prepare the Pali Devi, that is profit and loss account or income account or trading and profit and loss account. Then you prepare the Pali Devi, that is balance sheet. Right? You know, Bali Devi likes to create lot of wealth. Bali Devi likes to create what? Lot of wealth. Pali Devi likes to create what? What is the interest of Pali Devi? income or expense. And what is the interest of Tali Devi? What is the interest of Tali Devi? Not tally, trial balance. It is both asset creation, wealth creation, and income creation. See, these are all hidden points which I'm just feeding in your mouth. Whenever you get confused, just think. See, in accounts, end result is only three things. That is one word, financial statements. Three sisters, Bali Devi, Tali Devi, and Pali Devi. Accounts ends with only three statements. That is one financial statement. The content of financial statement is only two. What is that? Balance sheet and P&L. To prepare this balance sheet and P&L, what do? We prepare a trial balance, right? So why do we prepare the trial balance? To ensure that our debits and credit have been passed correctly. Our accounting system is what? Single accounting or dual accounting? Our accounting is single accounting or dual accounting? Dual accounting. Every debit has every credit. Equal, every action has equal and opposite reaction. Right? Same way, every debit will have every credit. To ensure that you have passed the entries correctly, first we prepare a summary of all the ledgers to ensure that your debit and credit is correct. Then from there, what do? From there, we split the data. Certain data goes to where? Certain data goes to trading and profit and loss account. Certain data goes to balance sheet. From profit and loss account, what happens? Something goes where? It goes to the capital account. So this is the process of end result of any accounting. Any doubt here? Is it clear why we are end of the day learning this stationery project? One, to prepare the financial statements, and after that to prepare the reports, required reports. One thing we missed out in the list, that is purchase we have missed out. During the year, so many purchases made, then so many sales is made, and what happens with is my purchase sales always tallies or something is left out? What is it called as? What is it called as something which is left out? Closing stock, right? So closing stock, next class we will see in detail about the closing stock. First, let's understand the basic fundamentals of accounting. So the next concept is what? Closing stock. Now we start with the process of accounting. What is the first step of accounting? In accounts, you have learned what is the first step. Yes, journalizing the books of transaction. First, there are transaction. First steps is there are certain transaction. Then these transaction we identify and pass a journal entry. So once the journal entry is passed, what is the next step? Once the journalizing goes step by step, don't be in a hurry, follow with me. So once journal entries is passed, we do the posting. Posting means what? Posting it to a ledger. Every entry will have what? Every entry will have what? How many ledgers? Every entry will have minimum how many ledgers? Every transaction will have minimum 2 ledgers. One ledger is what? One ledger is what ledger? No, not cash. Yeah, debit and credit. So all the transaction in accounts will be having minimum 2. Maximum, it can be more. Yes, it can be more. One debit, multiple credit. One credit, multiple debit choice is also there. So whenever we pass an entry, we create what? We create 2 ledgers. One debit, one credit. So always it is reflecting in a ledger. So once it is reflected in a ledger, we have to create a ledger account and then post the balance to that. That is called as a posting. So all the transaction done, the journalized entry tick, past posting tick, 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 tick. So this is what we are going to do manually. Then what is the next step? No trial balance. Before trial balance, you have to do something. Go step by step. Balancing, very, very important. So first you prepare the journal, then do the posting, then do the balancing. So debit total, credit total, whatever is higher, creditor, then you prepare the balance, whether debit balance ledger or credit balance ledger. Once the balancing is done, what is the next step? Is balance carry forward or brought forward, or there may be ledgers. So different categories of ledgers may be there. One ledger will be there with zero balance. One ledger will be there with debit balance. One ledger will be there with credit balance. So different ledgers will be there. So which ledgers, the next step of what? Once you prepare the balancing, what do? You transfer it to the trial balance. Which ledgers you transfer to the trial balance? All the ledgers or ledgers only with balance? All the ledgers or ledgers only with balance? Only the ledgers with balance we transfer to the trial balance. We don't transfer those ledgers with zero balance. Is it clear? Is it clear? So first step, transaction. Second step, posting. Third step is, first step, transaction. Second step is journalizing. Third step is posting. Fourth step is preparing the balancing. Fifth step is preparing the trial balance. Transfer all the ledgers and then ensure that your trial balance is tallied, your debit and credit is tallied. If it is tallied, you will be the happiest person on the earth. If it is not tallied, you will be the saddest person on the earth. Sometimes difference will be 1 rupee. When you find out the difference will be in lakhs also. Just few days back, I was talking to some accountant. He was telling that, sir, certain times there was a difference of 35 paise in the time of manual accounting. And when we found out, the difference was due to some millions of rupees, the reason of that difference. So it becomes in those manner. No suspense account in real life, only in manual books of account suspense. Okay. There are those and all. See, accounting terminology, I don't want to come fully. I will focus on what we want. No error, no extra suspense account. Okay, suspense account, what it is, I'll tell you. But when it comes to our stationery project, there is no chance of suspense ledger. There is no chance of error. There is no chance of difference in trial balance. That I will ensure you that you can do it. That is why we are using the technology. So now we have prepared the trial balance. Then from trial balance, what do we do? Once trial balance, go to the process, follow the process. After trial balance, classifying the ledgers. Yes, classifying the ledgers based on what? Based on two sisters, Bali Devi, Pali Devi. What is the need of Bali Devi? Give it to her. What is the need of Pali Devi? Give it to her. Bali Devi is interested in what? Accumulation of wealth, asset or liabilities. Pali Devi is interested in profit and loss account. So you transfer those ledgers. First you classify and then you transfer it to the financial statement. Tell me one item. Tell me one item which comes in your trial balance but does not come in your P&L, does not come in your balance sheet from the trial balance. Tell me one item which is in your trial balance, but it is not, after transferring, you need that in your P&L and you need that in your balance sheet, but it is not available in the trial balance. Capital is there, wages is also there. Think. What is there in trial balance, but after posting is required in balance sheet and P&L, but it is not there in trial balance. Everything interest we have passed the entry, creditors we have passed the entry. What is not there? How many account sum you have done? Final account sum. One item separately it will be given. Yes, closing stock. Right? Closing stock value we have to derive. It is not there in your books of account. Opening stock will be there. Why you will create a ledger opening stock? Then only your trial balance will tally. But closing stock is one thing which you have to find out, which you have to calculate from. Okay, in Excel now, today I'll ask you in your stationery project, what is the closing stock value? How do you take? You have your purchases, you have your cost, number of pieces, then whatever sold, you reduce it. Then you find out closing stock in hand, then multiplied by the purchase cost, and then you tell sir 1 lakh rupees worth closing stock is there. Is it there in your trial balance? Is it there in your trial balance closing stock value? Yes or no? No. You have to feed it manually. Every entry has equal and opposite reaction. You feed in the P&L, then what do you get? You get the profit. Then you feed that value in the balance sheet. Then only your balance sheet will be tallied. So once your balance sheet is complete, P&L is complete, profit is complete, what do you do with the profit? You transfer it to the capital account, and then only your balance sheet is complete. Then other reports you need to generate. Any doubt? Understood this process? Once again, what is step one? Tell me step one. Step one of accounting. Yeah, wait a minute. We'll take the questions once we complete the step process. Step one. Step one is transaction. Very good. Step two, journalizing. Step three, that is journalizing or recording common name. Step three, posting. Step four, balancing. Step four is balancing. Step five, preparing trial balance. Step six. Step six, preparing trial balance. Step six, classifying the ledger. Very good. Step seven, missing item. Step seven, missing item. Yes, find out the closing stock value. Step eight, P&L. Step nine, before balance sheet and any one step is there, two things you need to transfer. What? Step 9, net profit to capital, and transfer net profit to capital. One more item to be added, closing stock to balance sheet. Step 9 we were, no? Step 10, balance sheet. Right? These are the steps. Remember these steps. You don't need to remember. Just whenever you work out, okay, step 1 is this, step 2 is this, step 3. Just first 10 times will be little difficult. And once you are successful 10 times, then you don't need to remember. Step 8 automatically will come. Step 9 automatically will come. See, you are in 11th or 12th standard. Our memory is limited. We don't remember all the places, all the events. Say in 6th, I'll ask you, one of your friend, old friend has met, who has left the school, some 2 or 3 friends. He's telling, do you remember Suresh or do you remember Ramesh? He said, I don't remember. You know that person who fell from the bench that day? Yeah, yes, now I remember. So there's a trigger point in your mind. So to create that trigger point, step by step, try to remember. So what did I say earlier in one question? 5 points. First, what is the trigger point? 5 points are there. Okay, once you get that 5 point, automatically the 5 points will be replicated. But problem is we don't think about the 5 point. We directly go and read and understand the 5 points without counting the points. So what gets matured can be improved. So always step. So 10 by 10 steps. Is it clear, all these steps? Now we take the question answers. Any doubt you can ask me. Someone has raised the hand. You can unmute the mic and tell me, or you can type in the chat box anywhere you feel doubt. So in accounts we have read this. See, most of the things will be same. Can you tell the step? Okay, step 1. I will not tell. I only ask question. Lot of answers I have given during CA exam, 11th exam, 12th exam. Step 1, tell me. Type in the chat box. I want again. Step 1, transaction. Step 2, those who have not noted, journalizing the transaction. Step 3, posting the transaction. Step 4, balancing the accounts. Step 5, trial balance. Step 6, classification of the ledger. Step 7, finding out the value of closing stock. Step 8, preparing the profit and loss account. Step 9, transferring the capital, profit or loss to capital and closing stock to balance sheet. Step 10, balance sheet. Is it clear? Yes. So remember these steps. That's it. Even in accounts for your exam, whenever you get confused, wherever steps are there, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, total steps 10, then count the step. Easily you will get. Initial, it may take some time. Any other doubt? Okay, fine, we'll proceed further. Okay. Now we have seen what are the steps. End result is what already I said. Bali Devi, Tali Devi. Right? Balance sheet, P&L, trial balance. So now we come to the classification. What do you mean by classification? What do you mean by classification? What do you mean by classification? Classification of ledger means what? Why do we need to classify? Why do we need to classify a ledger? To prepare final accounts, yes. You classify the ledger account based on what? You classify the ledger account based on only two sisters. Who are the two sisters? Bali Devi, Pali Devi. Right? Balance sheet. Don't write in exam Bali Devi, Pali Devi. So you will tell, sir, you only said so. You have added. See, this is only a feedback I'm giving so that you will understand it better. When we tell story, you will remember. When I took GST session, I thought, okay, I should take something interesting so that people will understand. So I was thinking what to do at that time. I've seen.
Yeah, Bali Devi ka kuch Devi ne
Please move your mic. So how to make interesting session? I know that theory topic, GST is a taxation topic. Everyone will sleep, but it is new. Everyone wanted to learn. And my topic was given at very good timing. What timing, you know? 2 o'clock afternoon, 2 to 5. Everyone will have a nice curd rice and then they will come. What will happen? Everyone will sleep. So it was certain challenging. So what I did, okay, GST, what to do? Bahubali movie came. Then I compared the characters. Some of you might know about GST. See, GST is story of two brothers, Bahubali, Balladev. Then there's a neutral person, Katappa. Then a small character, Katappa is IGST. Then there's a small character, UTGST. What is that? What is that girl name? I forgot now. So the first part, lead heroine, Avantika, yeah. Then everything is managed by whom? Rajmata Sivagami Devi, here GST Council. So this way I used to tell and people used to, okay, then someone said me, sir, my favorite character, Devayani, you have said not, I have not, you have not said Devayani. Then some concept I will tell. Some will tell, Sir, I have not seen Bahubali movie. How will I understand? Sir, if you want to understand GST, go and watch Bahubali movie. So this way, things will used to be interesting. So you need to make things interesting. Whether you are learning, try to create something and then learn. So now we come to the classification part. See, there are simple two things: balance sheet, P&L. Again, balance sheet, P&L have two brothers. Who are they? In balance sheet, two brothers. For Bali Devi, two brothers. Who are they? Yes, assets and liabilities. So accounts is very simplified. Steps are very clear. You have a balance sheet. In balance sheet, two brothers. One is liability, second is asset. This is the only classification. And for Pali Devi, who are the two brothers? Income and expense, right? So these are only the two. One side liability, one side asset, that is balance sheet. One side expense, another side income, that is P&L. So classification is very, very important. Then something new you are going to learn, which you have learned earlier, but what we are talking in accounting for the purpose of tally is that grouping. So grouping we have not taken in the 10 steps. I'm taking it separately. That can also be part of the 10 step when you prepare balance sheet. So in balance sheet, now comes the grouping. Grouping is very, very important. First, when you have a ledger, you will classify, okay, which brother, first which sister, then which brother. So first you will classify a ledger. When it comes to balance sheet, the first level of grouping is what? Either asset or liability. After liability, what it is? First item grouping. In liability, first item grouping, what it is? You have done many times. What is the grouping? Capital. Very good. After capital, what is the next grouping? Step by step follow the same method. Don't deviate from the yes. So whenever you are doing, follow, remember the same order. So first it is capital, then it is what? Loans and liabilities. Under loans and liabilities, what it is? Again, subgroup. What it is called as? Be very specific. Secured loans, unsecured loans. Secured loans and unsecured loans. Then next subcategory, after loans and liability, what is the next grouping? What is the next grouping? Okay, what is secured loans means? If I take any loan giving as a security, it is a secured loan. Without any security, then it is an unsecured loan. Next classification, current liabilities and provision. Under current liabilities and provision, what are the subgroup? Under the current liability and provision, what is the subgroup? Sundry creditors, very good. Order before sundry creditors, one item will come, that is duties and taxes, which you may not know. So first order is duties and taxes. What is duties and taxes? GST payable, income tax payable, TDS payable. So that is duties and taxes. Then it is now no VAT, it is now GST. Then after that it is sundry creditors, and then it is next item is provisions, provision for income tax. Then you get the profit and loss account if you are not transferred to capital. Now come to the asset side. What is the first classification? What is the first classification in asset? Fixed asset. Then you classify fixed asset based on plant and machinery, furniture and fitting, computers, two-wheelers, four-wheelers, and other assets. After fixed asset, second item after fixed asset, don't deviate from the order. Order is very important. Then only you will be in order. No purchase. After asset, next item. Today is Sunday. If you tell me fast, we will complete it fast. Investment. Second item is investment. Right? Then third item. Don't worry if you don't know. You are only learning. Just try to give some answers. I'll tell you. Intangible asset is part of fixed asset. Now third item. Next is subgroup. First we have seen asset. Next is investment. Then current assets and advances. Current assets and advances. Under current assets and advances, we have what? Deposits. Then loans and advances. Then sundry debtors. then cash and bank, and then miscellaneous expenses. Miscellaneous expenses means that is a ledger miscellaneous assets or profit and loss account. So this is the order. First is your balance sheet, then your liability, then your asset. In liability, capital account. Next to capital account, loans. In loans, you have the secured loans, unsecured loan. Then you get the current liabilities and provision. In current liabilities and provision, you have your duties and taxes. After duties and taxes, you have your sundry creditors and then the provisions. And the profit and loss account. The profit and loss account, when profit is not transferred to the capital account, it is shown either as profit and loss account or in reserves and surplus as capital account. I'm not going in detail for that part. If you don't understand also, nothing to worry. This is just understand it. Then you have the asset. In the asset, you have this fixed asset. Then below the fixed asset, you have this investment. Below the investment, you have current assets, loans and advances. In current assets, loans and advances, you have this deposit, loans and advances, and then you have your sundry debtor, your bank account, and the cash account, and then the miscellaneous asset. So this is the structure of what? Balance sheet. Then next sister, who is that? Profit and loss account. Next sister is profit and loss account. In profit and loss account, who is the first brother? Who is the first brother? Brother name. So in profit and loss account, first brother is expenses. Normally we write the expenses on the left hand side. See, I'm taking in your exam angle so that you will remember also. So be order, follow the order, remember the order. So first is expenses. So in expenses, what is the first item? In expenses, what is the first item? Expenses, first item. First item. First item. No, for expense. P&L account. Trading and profit and loss account. What is the first item you type? Yes, very good. Opening stock. Then opening stock. Then after opening stock, purchases. Very good. After purchases. After purchases, we are in the expenses. Don't go to another brother. This brother will be angry with you. Direct expenses. Don't go to single class. We are coming to the grouping only. So first is your opening stock, then your purchases, then your direct expenses, then your gross profit. This is your trading account. Then trading account, right hand side you have your what? First is your coming to the income side, sales. Then is your closing stock. Right? So this is for trading. Now coming to the P&L account. Coming to the P&L account, if you have gross loss, then first item will be the gross loss. Otherwise, your expenses in whatever order you want, and then the profit account, net profit account. And right hand side by gross profit, and then the indirect income. This is the structure of the balance sheet. This is the structure of the balance sheet. Understood? Any doubt? So once again, balance sheet, profit and loss account. Balance sheet, liabilities, asset. Profit and loss account, expenses, income. In balance sheet, we have your liabilities, under liabilities, capital account, then your loans, secured loans, unsecured loans. Current liabilities and provision, under that, duties and taxes, sundry creditor, and provisions. Then you have your P&L account, right hand side, assets, investment, current assets, loans and advances. In current assets, loans and advances, deposits, loans and advances, sundry debtor, cash account, bank account, cash account. Then your miscellaneous asset. Coming to the P&L, expenses. In expenses side, first that is your trading and profit and loss account. First is your opening stock. If you are a service provider, then trading account will not come, opening stock will not come. So opening stock, then your purchases, then your direct expenses, then your gross profit, then your indirect expenses after the subtotal, and your profit. If it is a profit, right hand side, your sales, closing stock, then your subtotal, then your gross profit, and indirect income, then your total or loss if it is a loss. This is in nutshell what we are going to prepare, which is required for our stationery product. End of the day, what we are interested in. So any doubt till now? Any doubt? Okay, my next question. Why do we prepare P&L? What is the purpose of preparing P&L? What information does P&L give you? What are the information? One is to know the profit or loss. Very good. To know the financial position. No, it is only knowing the profitable position. It is not financial position. It is profitability position which we know. Then what details we get? We know what is our expenditure, how much expenditure, different headwise we are able to identify from a P&L account, so that wherever we want to cut short the expenses or where the expenses is more or less, we need to know, okay, we know the expenses, then we know the profit and loss. That is the profitability status of the company. We know the expenses incurred from the profit and loss account. One is direct expenses and the indirect expenses both. Then we identify the sales. Yes, very good. To see our position with competitors, that is called as comparison of our financials, P&L profitability with other company financials. So that also it helps you. You can compare your financials with your own financials of the previous year or previous month or previous quarter, anything it may be. So for your own development also, we can have the data, comparison data. You keep your previous month P&L, you keep your previous month, the current month P&L, find out the comparison. Last month salary 10,000, this month salary 1 lakh, question mark. Why so much difference? Last month conveyance expenses 500, this month conveyance expense 20,000, suddenly why spike? So these kind of comparison. Last month profit 2 lakh, this month profit only 20,000, why 80% reduction? Then what you will do, check the sales. So we also get the details of what is our revenue. That is, what is my total sales for the period, whether it is for a year or a month or whatever it is. Then we can identify what is my stock, opening stock and closing stock, whether I am holding more stock or less stock compared to previous year. Then what are all my purchases during the year, value? What are my direct expenses during the year? So these and all details are generated from your P&L, and using these details, we prepare the ratios. What are the ratios? Do you know? What are the ratios? Any ratio you have learned? Common ratios, current asset ratio, lot of ratios are there, not in detail, just for your information. So we generate the report only from these details. Then by looking at the balance sheet, what do you get? What information you understand? By looking at the balance sheet, what information you understand? What details you get? Company's position, very good. Whether a company is a asset making company or a loss making, that is, loss making company does not mean that only in P&L it is loss. Loss making company in the means it is unable to sustain because there is more liability, less asset, then it is unable to sustain. Asset and liability situation, what is the investment the owner has done, how much is the outside liabilities, how much is the loans payable, how much is the duties payable, how much is the creditors payable, then how much assets the company is holding, what are the different categories of assets the company is holding, how much is the receivable from the debtors, how much is the deposits made, what is the cash balance, what is the bank balance, what is the carry forward losses. All these things comes in your balance sheet. So balance sheet and P&L is viewed in the user perspective. Who is looking at the balance sheet? It depends. You may look at the balance sheet and P&L to check it is correct and I get 10 out of 10 marks. Correct? But as an owner, when I check balance sheet, I will look more concerned about what? One, whether I'm making profit. Two, my turnover is increasing or not. In life, we have to be improving. I have simple funda. My tomorrow should be better than my today. My today should be better than my yesterday. So always I compare my growth by this. If I am better than my yesterday, I am growing. If my tomorrow is better than my today, then I am growing. Somewhere, if I am falling down, then I have to rectify myself. I should not fall down and stop. Right? So failure doesn't mean that it is a stop it. It is only a stepping stone to success. I have failed many times in life. I have written CA exam 20 times. So those who think that only marks are the things in school, no. Failure, you should not be downgraded. You should prove yourself by passing. Sometimes it happens without your thing, without your control. Nothing can be said. So it is not the failure, it is how you take failure is more important. So same way balance sheet and P&L. I don't say that for that you did to fail. No. No one writes exam for failing. So always be at a positive attitude. Be very clear in what you do. Things will achieve. I was very determined. I know my life will change after doing CA, and it has changed a lot. A C level change. So we are paying the balance sheet P&L to find out our worthless. Whether I am able to repay my loans, whether I am able to repay my interest. Now, if a company is taking loan for the purpose of repayment of interest, is it a good company or bad company? That is a loss-making company or good company? If a company is taking loan for the purpose of repaying interest, it is not making. That means slowly the company will collapse. So these identification, where do we get? We get by analyzing the balance sheet, analyzing the P&L. Now last two questions and then we are closing this session, and then few question answers we will take. For what period we have to prepare the balance sheet, P&L and trial balance? Balance sheet is prepared for a period or as on date. P&L is prepared for a period or as on date. Trial balance is prepared for a period or as on date. So my first question, whether balance sheet is prepared for a period or as on date. Some of you are giving period, some of you are giving as on date. So please be very clear. Balance sheet means as on 31st March. It is not summary of transaction. It is closing balance. So balance sheet is as on date. But P&L, it is for the period from 1st April to 31st March. What is the total sales? Right? From 1st April to 31st March, what is the total purchase? So it may be 1 year also. It may be 2 years also. It may be 3 years also. How many years? How many years do we prepare P&L? Normally, how many years? P&L account, how many years do we prepare? 1 year, 1 financial year. Should we prepare only for 1 financial year? No. Generally, 1 financial year. We can prepare daily also. We can prepare monthly also. We can prepare quarterly also. We can prepare yearly also, depending upon the owner's requirement or the user requirement. But generally, it is 1 year, right? To review the position, it may be monthly, quarterly, yearly. Same way P&L. In trial balance, see, trial balance, it is as on date. That is whatever closing balance as on date that we take. Though it includes both P&L period and the as on date, it is a mix. Okay, so balance sheet is always as on date. It is not for a particular period. So as on 31st March, what is the capital balance? What is the balance payable? What is the balance payable? Profit and loss account during the period, what is my sale? During the period, what is my purchase? During the period, what is my profit and loss? So today we have seen what? Today we have understood that fundamental of accounting is golden rules of accounts. So if you understand that, accounts will be very, very easy. Then we have understood next is what are the different the process of the accounting, the steps of maintaining the accounts. We have understood your requirement for printing and stationery, then steps of preparing the accounts. Preparing the steps of account. So then we have seen what is the classification of balance sheet, P&L and trial balance. And then what is the purpose and what is the period. So any other doubt you have, you can ask me. So next class we are going to know about the trial balance, closing stock. And whatever classification you have given in the initial part, that is for the stationery project, these are all the classification: cash, bank, direct expense, sales, cash sales. Now can you relate it to what we have taken in the balance sheet and P&L? So these are the only things which you are going to post for the purpose of preparing your reports. So any doubt, or shall we close the session? So my part is over. 5-10 minutes I kept for the question and answers. If you have questions, you can ask me. Now link it to the printing and stationery project. Learn something about, before coming to the session, learn something about the inventory. So that next class we will see about inventory and something installation of Tally. So next class I will show you how to install Tally in your system. So have a laptop. It's not necessary that you need to purchase Tally. You can download freely, but that will be an educational mode. In that, whatever I am going to teach, you can practice also. But only one requirement: Tally Prime requires a 64-bit system. That is, your Windows should be 64-bit. So if you want to check whether your Windows, most of you, I think you can search from your My Computer, right click, and then you will know whether it is a 64-bit system, right? So, madam, now over to you.
Thank you so much for spending the time for us, sir. And I also thank the principals who are present over here, as well as the teachers. And thank you for introducing the two sisters, D.A.V and so we are looking forward for more concepts like that. So I think most of the things for the students have discussed everything over the chat box. Yeah. So I don't think we need a separate Q&A session for this. So going forward, I also suggest the students to use the chat box for the question answers as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Teachers, if you have any feedback, you can just unmute and just say. Coordinator teachers, if you have any feedback, you can unmute yourself and
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, Vinod. Suresh here.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, Vinodji. Suresh here.
Namaste, sir. Suresh ji is my past.
How are you?
Teacher.
So, really, it was a good session for everybody. Hope all students enjoyed this session. It was a brush up session for their 11th and 12th commerce group. Really, you have explained them the basics of accounting. What is accounting? What needs to be known before starting accounts? This thing. So it was a real good session. Hope this will continue in future. Thank you, Vinodji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We will. I think we can
Namaste,
close
sir.
this.
Namaste, sir.
Yeah, namaste, madam.
Namaste, sir. This is Principal Girls Gopalapuram.
Yeah.
I am a physics fan basically, but I understood so much from your class today about the basic accounting, and I think that will help me to understand when my children come back with their stationery shop problems and the way they're going to run it. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Thank you, sir. Namaste, sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Ji, one more thing I wanted to tell you. Vinod, are you online?
Yeah, yes, sir.
No, one more thing I wanted to tell you. See, by seeing your session, I thought I can explore this to the accountants also. Means it's a brush up session, really. So they will also understand means basic concepts of what is needed and what not is needed. So means maybe by next session, I would like to inform my accountants also to join this session, Ji.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
Yes, sir. This is we are student from D.A.V. Bell School, Ranipet, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the session is quite useful for us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If you don't mind, I can suggest one more thing also, sir, for students' convenience.
Yeah.
Suppose you are talking about fixed assets. A few pictures can be added, like land, building, something like that. When we add more pictures while talking also, they will understand faster than what we say. Yes, sir.
Normally I prepare the PPT, but since actually now audit season is going on, I did not have the time to prepare.
And also quite more interesting it will be.
Yeah.
Yes,
We used to prepare the photos of Bahubali, Ballal Dev, Avantika, Sena, and then we used to prepare the PPT, but I did not get time. So maybe next session we will prepare all this PPT.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for suggestion.
Namaste, sir. This is Vidya from Kothari. I noticed that some of the students who would have missed the session today, probably those who attended will definitely carry a positive feedback to them. And I think everyone will be more motivated to join the next week. The session was very interesting, and what to say, the way you explained the very basic terms, though we do it in the theoretical class, coming from somebody else who's a practicing auditor also adds value to the points. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Namaste, sir.
Yes, madam. Namaste, madam.
So I'm audible. Hello.
Yeah, yes, madam.
So it's quite interesting, sir. Very interesting. And really, the children, whatever we are teaching in the theoretical, they are learning now practical. It's very interesting, sir. So thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I think we can end this session.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you all students for active participation.
Namaste.
Madam, thank you all the teachers and principal.